Repeat this every day. I am going to win. Let that thought take root in the deepest part of your mind. This is not a hope. It is not a wish. It is not a plea directed to an indifferent universe. Understand this from the outset. This is not a request, but a command issued to yourself. It is a non-negotiable declaration of your future, and you are speaking it into being this very moment. This is the first stone laid today in the foundation of your unshakable character. Listen closely. Within the silent chambers of your own mind, a contest is perpetually waged. It is the quiet conflict between the person you are and the person you were created to become. Doubt whispers of defeat. Pressure feels as though it might crush the very spirit. The memory of past failures presents itself again and again, mocking your ambition. But you were formed for victory. This phrase, I am going to win, is not a magical incantation. It is a tool of creation. It is the master key to the inner workings of your own mind. You are not attempting to convince the world. You are not seeking applause or approval. You are instructing the deepest, most powerful part of your own nature. You are giving your subconscious mind its new, definite chief aim. From this moment forward, this declaration becomes the lens through which you view the world. It is the filter for your decisions. It is the bedrock of your new identity. When you are faced with a choice, you will no longer ask, what is easy or what is comfortable? You will ask, what must the person who is going to win do now? This is the beginning of the end for the old self, the self that barters with mediocrity, the self that flinches before a challenge. That person's dominion is over. Repeat it again and feel the change in your own spirit. I am going to win. The instant you make this declaration, the moment the words leave your lips with true faith, all manner of opposition will rise to test your resolve. Resistance will meet you as a great wave. It will not come from one direction, but will be a concerted effort from without and from within, designed to make you question the very decree you have just made. You must be prepared to recognize it for what it is. First, there is the resistance of the body. Suddenly, the morning call to rise will feel 100 times heavier. Your limbs will ache with a strange lethargy, a deep cellular desire for ease, begging you to remain in the comfort of the familiar. This is your physical self, your primitive nature, attempting to conserve energy. It fears the labor required for growth. It prefers the safety of remaining as it is. It will tell you, just one more day of rest. Begin tomorrow. It is a deceiver. It is the voice of stagnation, masquerading as prudence. It does not want you to rest. It wants you to surrender. When you feel that pull, you must see it for what it is, the first line of defense of the old self, the self that was content with defeat. The victorious self rises anyway. Then there is the resistance of the mind. This adversary is far more subtle, more insidious. It will not shout. It will whisper. It will use your own voice, your own reason against you. It will call forth the memory of every past era and present it as evidence for why you are destined to fail. It will say, remember the last attempt? You quit. Remember that other purpose? You gave up when it became difficult. What makes you believe this time will be any different? This is the voice of your own accumulated history of doubt. It is a gallery of your past defeats, and your mind is its faithful, self-sabotaging keeper. It will also appear as a form of false logic. It will tell you your goal is impractical, that the circumstances are against you, that others are more talented, better connected, or have an unfair advantage. It will paint a vivid, rational picture of your inevitable failure, making surrender seem the most intelligent course. It is the ultimate charlatan, selling you comfortable chains and calling them a fortress. Any man can speak of victory when the road is easy, but pressure exposes a man's true character. You must learn to hear this voice and dismiss it as the propaganda of your own fear. Your potential is not decided by a committee of your past failures. It is a sovereignty, and you are its new, resolute ruler. Next, you will face the resistance of your environment. The world around you is conditioned to favor the average. The moment you decide to rise, you disturb the equilibrium. Friends who were comfortable with the old you may suddenly feel unsettled by your new ambition. They may not intend you harm, but their words will carry subtle discouragement. Do not work so hard. Why are you so singularly focused? You have changed. They are not just speaking to you, they are speaking to the part of themselves that is afraid to attempt greatly. Your discipline is a mirror that reflects their own compromises, and this can make men uncomfortable. You will feel the social gravity pulling you back to earth. The world will also present you with an endless pageant of distractions, each one designed to steal your focus and drain your will. The trivial amusements, the endless stream of meaningless information, the call of immediate gratification, these are the enemies of all great achievement. They do not defeat you with a single blow, but with 1,000 tiny subtractions, bleeding you of your time, your energy, and your resolve, until you are too weak to fight for the future you have declared. Finally, there is the most trying resistance of all, the resistance of delay. You will do the work. You will hold to your purpose. You will fight the battles with your body, your mind, and your environment. And for a time, nothing will appear to happen. There will be silence. The victory you declared will feel like a distant echo. This is the great trial of faith, the desert of the journey, where more dreams perish than anywhere else. This is where you must understand that the work is not for the immediate result, but for the person you are becoming through the work. The silence is not a sign that your declaration was empty. It is the final test. It is the universe asking you with deafening quiet, did you truly have faith? Here is the fundamental truth that will carry you through every form of resistance. Here is the shift in thought that turns the tide of the war. You are going to win, not because the world will become easier, but because you will deliberately, systematically, and relentlessly make yourself stronger. Cease wishing for a smaller mountain. Begin building a stronger constitution. Cease praying for a calmer sea. Begin building a more formidable vessel. This is the core of the unbreakable contract you must make with yourself. You must stop seeing struggle as an impediment. It is not an obstacle on your journey. It is the journey. Every measure of resistance you face is not a signal to quit. It is the very instrument the universe uses to forge your victory. The weight that feels heavy is building your strength. The doubt that whispers in your ear is sharpening your focus. The defeats that strike you down are teaching you persistence. Hardship is not your enemy. It is your tutor. It is the sculptor, and you are the marble. You cannot become unbreakable without being placed under immense pressure. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. Let go of the idea that success is a matter of chance, a stroke of luck, a single moment where everything suddenly falls into your favor. That is a fantasy sold to the masses to keep them passive and hopeful. Winning is not an event. It is a process. It is a consequence. It is the inevitable effect of a specific cause, an identity of power lived out over time. It is the harvest that comes from seeds you planted months or years ago when no one was watching and the ground was hard. This brings us to the most critical shift in your thinking. You must detach your heart from the final outcome and fall in love with the process itself. You must find satisfaction not in the distant thought of the prize, but in the rigorous, repetitive, unglamorous work of right now. You must learn to value the strain in your muscles, the exertion of your mind, the feeling of pushing yourself just 1 inch past what you thought was your limit. Why? Because the outcome is never entirely within your control. The market may turn, a competitor may arise, fortune may play its hand, but your effort, your self-discipline, your character, those are yours and yours alone. When you fall in love with the process, you become impervious to temporary defeat. If you do not achieve the result you desire today, it does not break you, because you did not labor only for the result. You labored to be the person who does the work. You labored to honor the contract with yourself, and you will do so again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. The person who loves the process cannot be stopped, because he has made the very act of striving his victory. Every day you persist is a win. Every time you choose discipline over ease is a win. Let these small victories accumulate into an unstoppable momentum. This is what it means to sign the unbreakable contract. You are no longer negotiating the terms. The price of victory is effort, hardship, and persistence. You sign the contract by accepting the price in full, with no discounts and no clauses for escape. You are saying to the universe, I accept all of it, the struggle, the doubt, the loneliness, the long periods of no reward. I accept the entire cost because I know that what I am building is worth more than the price I must pay. This contract is not written on paper. It is impressed upon your character. It is reaffirmed every morning when you rise and every night when you rest. It is sealed with the words you repeat like a heartbeat. I am going to win. This is no longer a statement about the future. It is a statement about who you are right now. You are not the person who wants to win. You are the person who is winning every single day by fulfilling the terms of this sacred, unbreakable agreement with your own highest potential. The victory is not at the finish line. The victory is in the relentless execution of the contract. Let us move from the philosophy of winning to the mechanics of it. Let us build the pillars that will support your declaration. The first and most important pillar is this: you must build an identity, not merely chase goals. Chasing a goal is a fragile strategy. It makes your inner poise conditional. If I achieve this, then I will be a success. If I lose the weight, then I will be disciplined. This approach sets you upon a pendulum swinging between elation and despair, based entirely on external results. When you meet a setback, it does not just feel like a delay, it feels like a failure of self. Your sense of power crumbles because it was built on the shifting sands of outcome. Building an identity is a different undertaking entirely. It is more robust, more powerful, and ultimately more permanent. You shift your focus from what I want to have to who I must become. You cease saying, I want to write a book. You begin declaring, I am a writer. You cease saying, I want to run a marathon. You begin declaring, I am a runner. You stop saying, I hope I win, and you begin living as, I am a winner. What is the difference? A goal is a target in the distance. An identity is a truth in the present. It is who you are now. When you decide, I am a writer, what does a writer do? A writer writes. So the action becomes non-negotiable. It is not a question of whether you feel inspired or have the perfect idea. It is a matter of showing up and doing the work that aligns with your identity. You write today because that is who you are. The book is merely a byproduct, an inevitable consequence of your identity, not the sole purpose of it. Think of yourself as an architect, building your own character. Every action you take is a stone. Every choice you make is mortar. You have a blueprint in your mind for the person you intend to become, the winner. Your job is not to stare at the blueprint and dream of the finished structure. Your job is to focus with singular concentration on laying each stone perfectly. Today, you have a choice. You can surrender to slumber, or you can rise. The person who is going to win rises. That action is a stone. You can choose the easy, comfortable task, or the difficult, important one. The person who is going to win tackles the hard task. That is another stone. You can react to a setback with frustration and despair, or respond with calm, deliberate analysis. The person who is going to win responds with power. That is another stone, laid perfectly. Your focus is no longer on the massive, intimidating wall of success you wish to build. Your focus is on this single stone, this single moment, this single choice. Can you lay this one stone perfectly? Yes, and then the next, and the next. At the end of the day, you can look back not at some distant, unachieved goal, but at a solid, tangible row of stones you have laid. You have evidence. You have proof. You are building faith in your own will. This is how you build an unshakable identity. It is not built in grand, sweeping gestures. It is built in the mundane, in the daily, in the small choices that no one else sees. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes like the weather. Identity is a standard. It is a law you set for yourself. It remains long after motivation has faded. When the storm of doubt rolls in, you do not need to find motivation. You need only consult your identity. What does a winner do in this situation? The answer becomes clear, and so does your next action. Cease trying to achieve success. Begin embodying it. Ask yourself right now, who is the person that is guaranteed to win? What do they do every day? How do they think? How do they handle adversity? How do they carry themselves? Write it down. Be specific. This is your new blueprint. And then today, with your very next action, lay the first stone. Do not worry about building the whole cathedral overnight. Just lay one stone perfectly, then another. This is the work. This is the architecture of your soul. This is how you become, step by step, action by action, the person who inevitably wins. If identity is the blueprint, then discipline is the sacred tool you use to build it. It is time to completely reframe your relationship with this word. For most, discipline is a synonym for punishment, for restriction, for joylessness. It is the stern voice that says no. That is a child's understanding, and it is holding you back. Discipline is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks the cage. It is the ultimate form of self-respect. It is the act of declaring that your future self is more important than your present comfort. It is choosing the lasting satisfaction of victory over the fleeting pleasure of mediocrity. Every time you exercise discipline, you are affirming your faith in the person you are determined to become. There are two kinds of pain in this world: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is heavy. It is the burn of the final effort, the discomfort of rising early, the strain of focusing when you would rather be distracted. It is a temporary, productive pain. It weighs ounces. The pain of regret, however, is a different matter. It is the ghost of your unfulfilled potential. It is the crushing knowledge of what you could have been, what you should have been, had you not traded your ambition for comfort. That pain weighs tons, and it lasts a lifetime. Discipline is simply the wisdom to choose the lighter pain today to avoid the crushing weight of the heavier pain tomorrow. See discipline not as your adversary, but as your most loyal ally. It is the one force that is always there for you, especially when motivation deserts you. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. It appears when the sun is shining, but it vanishes at the first sign of a storm. Discipline is the all-weather warrior. It is what compels you to rise when your dreams feel 1,000,000 miles away. It is what keeps you at your work when your mind screams for a diversion. It is what guides you to do the necessary thing when your heart is filled with doubt. So how do you cultivate it? You begin small. You build it as you would a muscle. You do not enter a gymnasium on the first day and attempt to lift a great weight. You start with a weight you can manage, and you use perfect form. Today, choose one small area of your life and impose an unwavering standard of discipline upon it. Perhaps it is making your bed the moment you get out of it. No negotiation, no debate. It simply gets done. Perhaps it is putting your telephone in another room for the first hour of your day. The act itself is almost irrelevant. What you are training is the habit of immediate and unflinching obedience to your own will. You are teaching your mind and body that when you make a command, it is followed. Period. Each time you do this, you build a small fiber of self-reliance. You prove to yourself that you are a person who does what they say they will do. As that faith in yourself grows, you can apply it to greater and greater challenges. The self-trust you build by making your bed is the same self-trust you will draw upon when you need to push through the final grueling stages of a massive undertaking. It all comes from the same well. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Without it, your declaration, "I am going to win," is just sound. It is a wish with no power to propel it. But with discipline, that declaration becomes a prophecy. It becomes a certainty unfolding in real time. So from this day forward, when you feel that resistance, when you feel the discomfort of a hard choice, do not shrink from it. Acknowledge it. Recognize it as an opportunity to use your most powerful tool. Say to yourself, "This is the moment. This is the moment where I build myself." Embrace the effort. Cherish the struggle. Because in that moment of disciplined action, you are not just completing a task, you are carving away the weaker version of yourself and revealing the masterpiece underneath. You are not being punished. You are being forged. Now we arrive at the very dynamo of this entire transformation, the repetition. Repeat this every day. I am going to win. Why these specific words? Why a daily ritual? Why not just a one-time decision? Because your subconscious mind, the silent governor that directs the vast majority of your life, does not learn from a single event. It learns through repetition. It is like forging a path in a dense wood. The first time you walk it, it is a great struggle. You can barely see the way. But if you walk that same path every single day, a trail begins to form. The ground becomes firm. After weeks, it is a clear path. After months, it is a road. Eventually, you can walk it in the dark without a second thought. Your mind builds strong habits of thought based on what you consistently impress upon it. Repetition signals importance. When you repeat, "I am going to win," you are not just speaking hollow words. You are actively creating a new channel for your thoughts. With each repetition, you are telling your subconscious mind, "This is the new reality. This is our primary objective. This is the truth." You are impressing a new idea onto the fertile soil of your mind. At first, the old habits of thought, the habits of doubt, fear, and past failure, are strong. They are an ancient tree. Your new thought is but a sapling. You cannot expect to uproot the old tree by glancing at the sapling once. You must water that sapling every single day. The repetition of the phrase is that water. The faith and conviction you attach to it is the sunlight. You are, by deliberate and systematic effort, supplanting old harmful thought habits that have held you in limitation. Think of the negative suggestions that play automatically in your mind. I am not good enough. I will likely fail. What will others think of me? Those are not your thoughts. They are mental habits that were impressed upon you long ago. Repeated so many times, they became your default state. You did not choose them. Now you are choosing your own guiding thought. You are installing your own definite purpose. This repetition works on multiple levels. It is a declaration that sets your intention for the day. It is a command that primes your subconscious to look for opportunities and solutions that align with victory. It is a filter that helps you screen out distractions and thoughts inconsistent with your new identity. And most importantly, it is an anchor in a storm. When you face a major setback, when you feel broken and defeated, when every logical part of your mind is screaming at you to give up, this repeated phrase becomes your lifeline. It is the one solid thing to which you can hold. You may not feel like a winner in that moment. You may not look like a winner, but you can still access the memory of the declaration you made this morning, and the morning before that, and every morning for the past 100 days. The sheer weight of that repetition provides a counterbalance to the temporary pain of the moment. It becomes a truth that is deeper and more real than the fleeting reality of your current struggle. It says, "This setback is temporary. My identity is permanent." Do not underestimate the power of this simple ritual. It must be consistent. It must be infused with emotion. Do not just say the words, feel them. Speak them into a mirror, looking into your own eyes. Let your mind see the conviction in your own gaze. Say it when you wake to set the tone for the day. Say it when you go to sleep to let it take root in your subconscious overnight. Say it before a difficult task as a reminder of who you are. Say it after a failure as an act of unconquerable faith. I am going to win. With every repetition, you are laying another stone. You are carving the path deeper. You are watering the sapling. You are impressing your will upon your own mind. You are not hoping for a new reality. You are creating it, one declaration at a time. This is not magic. This is the science of self-mastery. This is how you build a mind that is incapable of conceiving permanent defeat. So here you stand, at a crossroads. Behind you is the comfortable, predictable path of who you used to be, the path of excuses, of negotiation, of settling for less. You know that road well. You know exactly where it leads. In front of you is another path, a path of resistance, of fire, of self-discipline. It is an uphill climb, and it will demand everything from you. But this path leads to the heights you were created to inhabit. Today you have been given the map. You have been given the tools. You have been given the command. The world does not wait for the motivated. It is shaped by the disciplined. It does not bend to the hopeful. It bows to the persistent. Your future is no longer a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Your victory is not a potential outcome. It is an identity waiting to be fully lived. This is not a preliminary trial. This is the great adventure of your life itself. The person you are capable of becoming is not a fantasy. That person is a promise you make to yourself, and a debt you owe to your own highest potential. Cease waiting for permission. Cease waiting for inspiration. Cease waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. The power is yours. Let this be the moment of definite decision, the moment the old self perishes and the true you, the winner, is born. Let this be the day you cease being a spectator in your own life and become the architect of your destiny. Repeat it now, not just with your voice, but with your entire being. Let it echo in every fiber. Let it burn in your heart. I am going to win. This is your truth. This is your law. This is your identity. From this day until your last, this is the standard. Let it be the first thought that greets you at dawn and the last thought that holds you in the dark. Now the declaration has been made. The contract has been signed. The work begins. Go and claim what is already yours. If you are committed to this path, if you are signing this unbreakable contract with yourself today, then go to the comments below and make your public declaration. Cement your decision in the presence of others. Write, I am going to win. By doing so, you will not only strengthen your own resolve, but also inspire the thousands of others in this fraternity of strivers who are rising with you. This is no longer a solitary journey. Welcome to the first day of your victory.